The scene today is students and staff members at Thomas Nelson High School in Nelson County, Bardstown, grabbing signs and lining up right on the side of the road. They're protesting the school board's decision last night to move forward with a plan to combine the county's two high schools. That walkout happening first thing this morning and continuing throughout the school day. Hello, everybody. It's our top story at 5. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Shay McAllister. The school's students, teachers, and administrators say combining those high schools is not in the best interest of the students. Ian Hartwitt and photojournalist Jessica Farley take us to Nelson County.
Students walked out at Thomas Nelson High School protesting the Nelson County School Board's decision to move forward with a community campus plan. It would merge Thomas Nelson High into Nelson County High, a move some here say would cause friction between the student bodies, reduce one-on-one time with teachers, and limit individual opportunities.
At the end of Tuesday's board meeting, one member resigned over concerns about how this plan is moving along. We're here with him outside Thomas Nelson High School.
I'm concerned because I'm already hearing of staff that are saying this is not where I want to continue my career. And it's not just a few, it's a large number of staff.
Amanda Deaton, one of the board's yes votes, spoke in favor of it Tuesday night.
I think there's a lot to be gained from having all of our resources on one campus, and our most precious resource being teachers.
The district's website says the community campus would allow them to invest in energy-efficient solutions and save costs by managing fewer buildings. They estimate $2 million in savings, which they suggest would be spent on higher teacher pay. It's not a final decision yet. The board has only approved a plan, something that's been in the works since 2021. In Nelson County, Ian Hartwitt, WHAS11, on your side.
The next board meeting is scheduled for November 14th. That will be at the Boston School.
Also here tonight, it's a problem many of you at home have expressed about for years here to us, the number of gangs operating in Metro Louisville. Tonight, Louisville's police chief acknowledging the issue is very real.
Chief Jackie Gwen Villarreal says her department is not shying away from it any longer. Rather, they're putting more resources into putting a stop to gang violence. Senior reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton heard these words at the Louisville Forum today. Isaiah, what prompted that?
Well, Shay, Doug, it was actually a question from a member of the audience at Vincenzo's downtown today asking LMPD's chief about the persistently high violence all across Jefferson County. She didn't mince words.
Let me acknowledge this, and I'm just really I'm pleased that we're in a space now that everybody can recognize we got a gang problem. Because right?
A round of applause for a change of pace from authorities here in Louisville, admitting one of the primary drivers of the city's shootings and murders is gang violence.
Because at one point we were shying away from it. At one point, we were being dismissive. We had a blind eye to it. Oh, it's not happening here in Louisville. Guess what? Newsflash, it is. And so with acknowledgement, then you're able to do better and tackle that particular challenge that is facing our city.
Alongside Louisville Police Chief Jackie Gwen Villarreal was Mayor Craig Greenberg revealing an eye-opening number. He tells us 30% of homicides in the metro stems from gang activity.
Young people who are committing crimes are talking a lot about it on their phones. They're posting a lot, they're texting, they're Snapchatting, and so we need more tools.
Greenberg is advocating for Kentucky lawmakers to pass a state wiretapping law to help trained law enforcement arrest gang leaders. During the discussion, he also put some of the onus of finding solutions on Louisville's judges.
I am not someone who believes that locking more people up is our path to safety. But I do believe that if you use a gun to harm others, your punishment should be measured in years and not in months.
Meanwhile, Gwen Villarreal going on to say that every day LMPD is going after gang members and, quote, dismantling these groups. And LMPD's chief mentioned they're partnering with the ATF, FBI, and DEA in this effort. Greenberg also said they're working with JCPS to see what they can learn from inside school walls and, of course, educate students about gang resistance. Shay.
All right, Isaiah, thanks for that update. Well, let's take a closer look at some of the legislative priorities announced from the mayor's office today. These are the issues they want state lawmakers to take up this session. The mayor's asking the state for $50 million for the Louisville Affordable Housing Trust. That's a huge increase from the $15 million he requested in the city budget. He's also asking for $22.5 million for the Community Care Campus. The Community Care Campus is part of Greenberg's initiative to help the homeless population in Louisville. And in his quest to get more people downtown, Greenberg wants $30 million for converting the empty office spaces into retail and entertainment.
Unlike many other cities, Louisville did not tear down many of our older buildings. You see several examples right behind me. These relatively smaller, older buildings are ideal for residential conversions, as well as hotel, entertainment, and other non-office uses. We can and must build an entirely new residential neighborhood here in downtown Louisville.
Another big investment Greenberg wants, $10 million to launch the city's universal pre-K program, allowing every 3- and 4-year-old to attend preschool for free.
More news from around Kentuckiana here today. A murder investigation in Jackson County, Indiana takes an unexpected turn. A woman is now in custody accused of trying to use poison to kill someone. Jackson County Sheriff's Department says they started investigating a break-in at Marsha Allen's home back in September. While looking in her phone for evidence, officers discovered messages between her and her daughter, Ashley Jones. Allegedly, the two were discussing killing Allen's husband named Harold. Harold was found dead in Jackson County in 2022. While Allen was being investigated for this, officers and family were unable to contact her. On October 16th, she was also found dead in her home. The next day, her daughter confessed to police that she ordered ethylene glycol. That's a chemical, the major chemical, found in antifreeze. Jones told police her mother put the poison in her husband's drink. Now Jones is charged with Harold's murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and attempted murder. A 70-year-old woman died today after being hit by a car while trying to cross Charlestown Road in New Albany. The New Albany Police Department says it happened at about 7:30 this morning on Charlestown Road, just north of Klerner Lane. 70-year-old Barbara Tucker was taken to University Hospital in Louisville, where she later died. Police say they believe the driver was not able to see Tucker due to low levels of light and fog in the area, as you can see from these photographs posted on Facebook by Indiana State Police. Sellersburg post exactly what the area looked like at the time and the visibility this morning. They say they do not believe speed is a factor in this crash and charges are not expected.
Today, the state's highest court heard a case which could change how bullet ballistics are used as evidence during criminal investigations. In 2018, Kelly Kramer and her 9-year-old son were murdered, shot to death. Investigators used shell casings at the scene and then matched them to a gun range that her ex-boyfriend was known to frequent. The examiner determined that the bullets came from the very same gun. That ex-boyfriend was convicted, now serving 2 life sentences, but his attorneys are arguing that the evidence never should have been allowed. They say the science isn't there yet.
It has been tested over and over. Those studies have been published in peer-reviewed journals, and study after study has shown that firearms and tool mark examiners rarely err when applying the controls and standards applicable to their methodology.
But we're limited by the jury's lack of understanding of the issue, and we're limited by how in-depth this was. I mean, we had to file 1,200-page supplemental briefs to even attempt to skim the surface of how flawed this methodology is.
Depending on the decision, the Supreme Court will determine whether examiners can testify that a shell casing came from a certain gun, and that decision could change the way investigators work Kentucky homicides.
How to treat gunshot wounds. It is training for anyone. Yes, it is certainly sad that it's come to this here in Louisville, but it's very real. So leaders in the Russell neighborhood are taking steps this Saturday. St. Peter's United Church of Christ is hosting a training session for Russell community members to get trained on how to treat a gunshot wound as soon as it happens. When someone is shot, every second matters when it comes to saving that person's life, and that's why the church is putting on this training so that community members can take life-saving measures into their own hands instantly instead of waiting for first responders to arrive. We talked to Clifton Grifton today, the student pastor at St. Peter's United, about Saturday's program.
Community building is a key piece of that, along with being able to save someone's life without any type of medical equipment. And when if there's a lack in response time from other services in response to such emergency situations, people could now do something about it themselves and potentially save a life.
Griffin says if you'd like to participate this Saturday, there are 2 sessions coming at St. Peter's United Church of Christ. That's on West Jefferson Street near 12th. The first is from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and the second will run from 2 to 4:30 this Saturday afternoon.
Alert here. Right now, customers with Sellersburg water in Jeffersonville, you're temporarily without water. According to the town of Sellersburg, a valve on Allison Lane failed, and due to the location, the only way crews could fix it was to shut off service completely. On your screen, you can see the red area where residents are being impacted. Crews say this will only last a couple of hours, but once service is reestablished, you then need to be on a precautionary boil water advisory. Those who have been impacted here have been notified.
Montgomery Avenue in Clarksville, Indiana is going to close for almost 2 months starting next week. Montgomery Avenue will be closed from Marriott Drive in Clarksville to 9th Street in Jeffersonville starting next Monday, October 23rd through Friday, December 22nd. It's a long closure. Clarksville says crews will be adding new lighting to the roadway and a new multi-use path to improve the connectivity for pedestrians and cyclists going between Jeffersonville and South Clarksville.